Welcome to a test drive in a 1955 Austin Healey BN1-100 or 104 or 100. Very cool car. I think technically it was called a 100. It went 100 miles an hour, but many people called it 104 because it was 4-cylinder, but it's a great car. Let's go for a drive. I love these cars. It's a very quirky 3-speed, but it's also a very nice to have fully synchronized 3-speed. So unlike in the bug eyes and TR3s or MGAs where you have to be at a standstill to engage first, in this car you can engage first while rolling. So that's really a luxury. The windshield is a beautiful fold down, sexy love object, but for driving it's nicer to have the windshield up. Get a little bit less air in your teeth. So that's the way we have it configured. This is the trafficator, which is working here. Works nicely. And these are very unusual Dunlop tires to see on these cars. They're beautiful, just stunning to look at. They're a little bit hard. They're bias plied and they are a little firm. They have not heated up yet, so they're a little harsh. And if you really don't think you're going to drive the car much and just look at it, which is fine and dandy, it's such a beautiful piece of art. These tires are great. If you are a driver and you want to get out there and really bomb around, then I would put radials on the car. I think these bias plies are kind of too harsh, very in period, but a modern radial, we're all so much more used to comfort now, and a radial would be a lot more plush. This is the overdrive. That's overdrive in, overdrive out. Nothing happens until you step on the gas to disengage it. And this gearbox is excellent. It's not so common to find these with such nice synchros, but there's like no complaint at all with the up or down shift with this transmission. So you have 3 speeds. First gear is back here where fourth normally is for a traditional H pattern. And then you have overdrive, certainly for third gear, and I have to look it up to see if you get overdrive in second in addition, but that's not really something most people would need or use, but it is potentially another feature. So here's an example, first gear while rolling. That's the benefit of a fully synchronized gearbox. Well, that's one nice feature of these 3 speeds. Quirky shift pattern, but fully synchronized is a dream. Makes it easier pretty much for anyone to drive the car. Brakes are 4-wheel drum brakes. And they also work well. The pedal action is good. So the car is really well sorted. It's had a lot of time and energy invested. A nice driving car. The steering wheel is its weak point. It's a little weathered. I have to look to see if we can get the new owner the option of a new reproduction wheel. That would be a nice benefit. The horn works properly. And mainly that the overdrive works so nicely is a great attribute because many of these overdrives can be a little bit finicky. There's a little snick going into second, or up over to second. So the second gear synchro, you have to be just at the right pace. I went a little too fast. So that's a good thing to know about. It's pretty common on all these British cars. Every one of these gearboxes has its own personality. And most of them are pretty worn by now. You can also double clutch. Here's a double clutch from third to second. Goes in with no issues that way, and certainly that's not necessary. You just go a little bit slower when you contact second gear. Notice that just a little bit of a pause going into second, and that's usually all you need on most of these transmissions, even when they're freshly rebuilt. You can sort of outshift your synchronizers on all these old cars. We have wipers over here, and the headlights are a twist switch, so you have one click is park lights, the second click is headlights. So those are working just the way it was originally designed. If memory serves, I think these were about 95 horsepower, somewhere in that range. They're very spirited cars. I don't know that you really need the M kit. Obviously, if you're out there watching and you have an M100M, you need it, and that's cool, and that's fine, and I have nothing against a little more horsepower. But for the way most people drive these cars, all I'm getting at is that this is ample power. I mean, it's a spirited old car, and I'm not sure you need 200 horsepower to really enjoy it. I think that this is kind of a perfect setup. It's nice to have these. I mean, the Roadster style Big Heeley is so much more nimble. If you've driven the 3000 Mark IIIs, most of the 3000 have a bit of a heavier feel. This only has a heavy feel because of these bias ply tires, but it's a much more compact feeling Roadster kind of driving experience, which I really like. More like an MGA, where it's a more compact ride. The 3000s tend to be a little bit more trucky in their feeling, and this feels much more like a sports car. And I think that is the dominant and important feature about these, much more so than whether you have an M-spec engine or a stock 100 engine. I think just the fact that they're more nimble, shorter wheelbase, a little bit more precise in their steering, not as much play in the steering, all of that makes these very lovable. The two-seat Roadster setup without those 2+2 seats, all of it is just, I think, much more pure sports car fun. On for more visibility for oncoming cars. This dashboard too is just fantastic. This is, you know, most people I think would have made this just an oval, you know, like a continuous piece, but this is a very sexy curve. Thank you, Jerry Coker, for that dashboard. Pressure is 55 at under 2,000 RPM, so no problem there. Water temperature is now running at 170. Also, really what you'd like to see today is about an 85, 83 degree day. So those are the right numbers. So miles an hour. It's only 1800 RPMs. It's pretty good gearing. You wouldn't really need overdrive right now. You'd be lugging the engine. If we could get going a little faster, though, I can show you. You can use the overdrive around town. You just need to be going more like 40 and not 30. 40 and up. So 2,000 RPMs, no need to do that, but you can do that. I guess it depends on how you drive. You know, you're really just loafing along. If you want to ask for more power or throttle, you would add gas and it drops out of overdrive right away. So add accelerator pedal, and so that throttle switch is working properly, which is nice. The stock muffler on these was never terribly loud, which in a way is kind of gentlemanly. I sort of like that. Will work quite nicely if you push hard. They're good on this car. And we are back at the barn, so that about ends our drive. Thank you for coming with me today. It's just such a delight to be able to take a 1955 car out and enjoy it and use it the way it was intended, or you know, for a drive anyway. They go a lot faster than I drove it, so I don't know if you want to say it's how it was intended. It was intended to be used, and it's nice to go out and use it. So thank you for coming with me, and if you're interested, take a look at this car. For more pictures at Bug Eye Guys, you can see the engine bay. somewhere here, right? Oh, here it is. Anyway, there's a garage operator I need to find. I'm going to sign off. Thank you. Have a great day.